Tatting, y'all. It's Corporal Carter, and today we're talking about where you're gonna live in the Army Barracks, also known as the B's. As you probably noticed, I'm in the B's right now, and it could be worse living conditions. I try not to complain because I heard about the type of barracks my dad had to stay in when he was in the Army, and oh my goodness, let's just say we got it way better than they had. So I'm gonna explain like all the type of barracks you will stay in, from your basic training barracks or base to your AIT barracks, your regular duty station barracks, this one I'm in, and barracks while deployed. That's like the four main type of barracks you're gonna be in. And we start with basic training. In basic training, you will sleep. Well, you ain't gonna get much of it, but you're gonna try to sleep in open bay barracks. It's these big rooms with bunk beds lined in rows as far as the eye can see. These will be for your platoon, so they will typically fit 40 to 60 bald-headed trainees with just enough room to not get claustrophobic. And if you end up on the top bunk, God help, you gotta balance your foot on the edge thing when you trying to get down and trying to get up. As folks coming flying off the top, finna snap an ankle. And I'm gonna explain why they jumping off the top in a bit. Privacy. There is no privacy in the bays. You have to change clothes. You go to the communal bathroom / showers that's connected to the open bay. Wear shower shoes or slides, or else you will get a disease that scientists haven't discovered yet. Your toes gonna start doing this. Space. The space you have is your wall locker, which will be behind your bunk bed and is just enough for uniforms, shoes, and a green duffel bag. You don't gotta worry about space here though, because you're not even allowed to have more than what I just listed anyway. There's a lot you can't do in this barracks, and that includes, but it's not limited to, get too loud, eat anything, child loud in the barracks probably. Walk in the center part where it's taped off. Now seriously, you and your whole platoon will do push-ups for this. Laugh, cry, smoke. I need to go on. There is a lot you can do though, which includes a push-up, a V-up, leg tuck and twist, and write letters home that got a little teardrop or two on the bottom right-hand corner. Your drill sergeant might even wake all 58 of y'all up at 2 a.m. to explain why someone has to be at fire guard at all hours of the night. This is what I was saying earlier with people coming flying over your head, the top bunk dwellers, because when the drill say toe the line, you all have like a second and a half to be lined up in front of your bunks at the position of attention. In a deep sleep, don't matter. On the top bunk, don't matter. You better learn how to fly. Overall condition of these barracks are pretty bad. But before you get too discouraged, just know you're only gonna be there for 2.5 months. And then graduate from basic training and move on to AIT. That brings me to the other set of barracks, AIT barracks. So AIT, or Advanced Individual Training, is where you go after basic in the Army to learn your Army job. Now the barracks do vary a little bit by base, in which AIT base you go to depends on your job. For example, if your job is anything communications, you go to Fort Gordon. Or AIT. Anything medics or medical field, you're going to Fort Sam Houston. Supply, mechanic, or other logistical jobs, you're probably going to go to Fort Lee or AIT. This is where choosing the right MOS already starts to make a difference in your Army career. But for the most part, this is how the majority of the AIT barracks are. You get a 2 to 3 person barracks room, which most of the time has a bathroom in the room, depends on the base, and a little area for your laptops, books, like a little personal study area. These ones are very similar to freshman dorms, like dorm rooms at any university in the US. Privacy. So the privacy here is better than basic training, obviously, but don't ask about getting your own room, because the chances of that happening are next to zero. There's a small chance that you get a room with 2 other soldiers who are in a different class and they're like about to graduate and they move out, and for a small time you technically have your own room. But the odds of you getting your own spot for any like meaningful length of time in AIT are extremely low, like 1.2%, no, 1.3, I'm gonna say 1.3% chance. Not to mention there's still drill sergeants. That's right, you ain't escaped them yet. There's still drills in AIT who can enter your room at any moment to check it, check you, and make sure y'all aren't hiding tequila bottles. It's a quick way to get a Article 15, by the way. Space. So space for AIT barracks are just slightly enough to make you not want to slap your roommates at the 90th day of AIT. But you do get your own wall locker again, and that desk area I was talking about earlier. With this space, you can buy a game system like Xbox, PlayStation, PC. You're free to do whatever you want, basically, as long as it's in the rules of common sense, and you're not annoying your roommates too much. You're gonna annoy them a little bit though, it's inevitable. This is where you hope and pray you got some cool roommates, because their lifestyle, cleanliness, and snoring level are gonna basically determine the next few months of your life. Overall condition of these barracks are not bad. It's like college or university dorms, and sometimes had the same stories. AIT is typically like a good time though. If you go to a longer AITs, you tend to get more freedoms, and it's really like college. I went to Fort Gordon, and commo jobs typically have long AITs, and that place genuinely felt like universities. The only difference is the professors wear drill hats, yell at you, and punish you with exercise, and the list goes on. A lot of good memories here, and I'm definitely gonna be making a AIT explain video where I tell like some of the stories that are stupid but funny stuff going on there. So you graduate from AIT and head into your first duty station. What are the regular barracks like in the regular army? Done with your training. Again, that depends on which base you go to, but for the like majority of them, you'll stay in a room that features a shared common area / kitchenette, a shared bathroom in the room, depends, and a separated bedroom / sleeping area. So it pretty much looks like this. Like your own room with your door you can close. Your roommates, if you have one, share the main entrance / kitchen, and y'all share the bathroom. Now that's for most barracks, not all. Fort Hood, as you can see, these barracks share the common area, which is the entire room. So the shared common area, bathroom, and the closet, which is just horrible design, like absolute, like terrible. Who came up with that? It's a little bit of the one I'm currently in. Is what it looks like. I gave a full tour of my room in that other video. You should definitely watch after this one. Privacy. So the privacy here is much better than the other options in your bedroom. Like you can do whatever you want. You can make TikToks, you can watch Netflix, but no one ever knowing you did. But depending on how loud you do all three of those, because the walls is a little bit thin. All two of those, I mean. So you can do whatever you want, but you are still liable to having room inspections, not from drills this time, but from your first line NCO, your bosses, your first sergeant, like whoever leadership that comes by. But this is a much more rare occurrence than the other two places where that was happening pretty much every day. By the way, you know how I mentioned those tequila bottles earlier? Here you can drink if you over 21. Just don't get too out of hand with it. You know what I'm saying? MP's gonna pull up to the barracks. Space. Like I said, you get your own closet. Like sometimes walk in, your own desk, which has cabinets for your stuff, as well as your own nightstand, which is gonna have cabinets as well, and your own lamp with a free, unless you go to Fort Hood. If you heading here, GG's. Just get married, man, and move out the barracks. Like the barracks here, so there are some that aren't like this, but those are definitely like the minority of them, like here at Fort Hood at least. The overall conditions of like duty station barracks are good. I know they come with a lot of problems. Like mold is a big one. I heard about bugs. Like most of these, it depends on the base. Like on Fort Hood, I was in another building and I saw a spider this big, just posted up at the door. Like what's up with you, bro? Like, you trying to walk this way? Or? At this building, same base, this different building though, I haven't seen a single insect like at all. I did see a bat flying through the hallways at when I was at Fort Riley one time, but I'm not even surprised. Like that whole base itself is probably cursed. By the way, I heard a whole lot of the barracks in the army are haunted. I don't know if y'all know anything about that. That might be one of the only problems with it, besides the mold, of course. Also, almost forgot to say, for duty station bases, whether or not you have a roommate typically depends on your rank. So E1 through E4, you are most likely gonna get a roommate, with the exception being corporals who are NCOs tending to not get one. Not here though, because the building is over flooding. And E5s, sergeants, they almost never get a roommate. E6 and above, most places they require you to get out and get a house, a BAH. And now for the final type of barracks or living quarters, Army will typically put you deployed. It's gonna change a lot from where you deployed. So years ago, I went on a deployment to South Korea. Yeah, I'm not stationed there, went as a rotation for a few months. Those barracks were the exact same as regular duty station barracks. But I also deployed to Poland and we lived in a 20-man tent. So that's the range when you deploy. Like it could be a 20-person tent smelling like armpits, or your own room again, also probably smelling like armpits. I don't know how you have it. It could be a bigger tent that houses like a lot more than 20 people, and like a similar like basic training bay layout with the beds and the lockers going down. So the bottom line is the quality of the barracks you have is really gonna be luck of the draw, except for basic. That's just gonna suck regardless, like no matter what you do. If you do want to see that tour, this little spot right here, play right there.